Hello friends, I hope you will be doing good at your places, and today we are going to discuss an important topic of English literature, that is structuralism. So friends, many people scare off this structuralism, but it's a very wonderful thing, it's a very interesting topic. So let's start. First of all, let's discuss what a structure means. Structure means an order or arrangement. As we see arrangement in everything, we see arrangement in solar system. In solar system there is sun, then around that sun there are planets, then in planets we have continents, in continents we have countries, in countries we have state, then district, etc. So we find structure in everything. So people say, okay, this is structure. We can understand that structure is there in everything in the world, but what about structure in literature? So friends, structuralism in literature is also not a new thing. As you know, Aristotle, Greek philosopher, who came forward with the theory of tragedy, he gave the world the wonderful theory of tragedy. In tragedy, he talked about the structure of tragedy. He said there must be some acts in the tragedy, and those acts should be divided in the scenes. So this arrangement of scenes and incidents in making a plot is also a structure. So structuralism is not a new thing in literature. Now let's talk about the literature or work of art before 1920 and after 1920. Before 1920, a work of art, maybe it prose, drama or poetry, it was considered as a work because it had a fixed identity and its meaning was fixed. No one can alter its meaning. It was fixed ended. But after 1920, this work was converted into text, and any work of art, literature was seen as a text. It was open-ended, and anyone can alter its meaning, anyone can present its meaning according to his own way, according to his own attitude, according to his own understanding. So now text became an open-ended entity. After that, in structuralism, we will discuss the main propounder of structuralism was Ferdinand de Saussure. He was a great philosopher of Sanskrit. Also, he studied many work of languages like Patanjali and Paunini. He studied all these works, and after studying all these works, he came forward with the idea that every language is a unit of knowledge. He said a unit of knowledge is a construct of language. No knowledge can be propagated without language. So what a wonderful thing a language is. So he said to gain knowledge we always need language. So he coined a term episteme. Episteme is unit of knowledge, which is a construct of language. He further said that language, he coined the term linguistic determinism. He said that our thoughts are determined by our language. We cannot even think without language. So what an important thing language is, we can't think anything without language. For example, take an example of a child who knows his father with the help of language. He has a concept in his mind that a person who has certain qualities, and he calls him father. So no communication, no knowledge can be propagated without language. Then he said that language always follows a structure. For example, if we consider any word in English language which have 3 consecutive consonant sounds, so let me tell you the 3 words in English language which begins with 3 consecutive consonant sounds. So the first word will be strife, then straight, then screen. So the word which have 3 consecutive consonant sound will always have first letter as S, second letter will be followed by T or C, and third letter will be followed by R. So we see that language have a structure. Then he came forward with the theory of sign and signifier. Sign, signifier and signifier. He said a sign has 2 components, 2 elements. One signifier, another signified. Signifier, when we pronounce a word, that sound is signifier. For example, we say dog. So dog, dog, sound dog is the signifier. And what the concept, what the image which is formed in our mind is signified. So he said that signifier is permanent, but signified is not permanent. It is always changing. For example, if I say dog, so in my concept I may be thinking the dog which is of different race. For example, I may be thinking of German Shepherd, I may be thinking of Black Labrador dog, and the person who listen it may be thinking of some street dog. So the sound dog, dog will not change, but the signifier, the meaning, the concept which will be framed in our mind, that keep on changing. So this was the concept. Then he said about the arbitrariness, the arbitrary relationship between signifier and signified. He said that meaning is culturally constructed. For example, if we say a word awful, so in earlier days awful meant majestic, powerful. But nowadays awful awful means horrified. So with the passage of time, the meaning keep on changing. In the similar way, structuralism says that if we say about God, then God for us, God for me, may be Lord Rama, and God for anyone else, maybe Jesus Christ, maybe Allah. So meaning keep on changing. So signifier is constant, but signified keeps on changing. That's why signifier and signified always written as numerator and denominator, and signifier we write signifier as numerator and signified as denominator. Then structuralism talks about binary oppositions, that there are binary oppositions in everything. For example, they said that we can't understand things, we can't understand the meaning of things in isolation. If we are going to define light, then we will say that the place where there is no darkness. So light have no value without darkness. We can understand the meaning of light only when we talk about darkness. So binary oppositions are always there, where one term is superior than the other. Then if we define a tree, then how can we define a tree? We can define a tree in a forest where there are small bushes, there are herbs, and we say that the tree is a plant which is large in size, which have large in girth, and as compared to other bushes which are small in size. A tree is tree because it is not a bush. A tree is tree because it is not a herb. So in this way we can understand the meaning with the help of binary oppositions. So this was all about structuralism. Thank you, and don't forget to like my YouTube channel.